So it's about 5:30 a.m. We just got to Florida about the day before yesterday, kind of towards the afternoon. Took yesterday to just kind of chill out and recuperate from the 4-day drive. And today I have been itching to get out here and check out this one spot for pigs, because I've been looking at some aerial photographs, and this one area that I found, it's not a very big area, but from the aerials it looks absolutely like it's tore up with hog trails. Oh, there's a beaver. And so I've been wanting to get out here and check it out. We got kind of a east-southeast wind right now, so I'm gonna have to paddle all the way down to the west side of this thing and come in from that way. Blue heron. And that's about a 3-mile paddle, but today's mostly just a scouting trip. I have my bow, but I'm mostly just checking it out. You know, if I happen to run into some pigs, that'll be awesome. But if the pigs aren't there, then I will have seen some country that I haven't seen before. But judging by the way it looks on the aerials, it's gonna be pretty good, hopefully. It's an absolutely beautiful day. Got my first island is right up here. It's nice being out here on a weekday because there's not any, and it's January, there's not any boat traffic. The only folks that would be out here right now are people that are small game hunting or hog hunting without dogs, which there's not a lot of people that do either one of those things, at least not on the river. So kind of pretty much have the whole place to myself. I haven't seen a single person, haven't heard any boats. I mean, it's all public land. It's nice. I can hear pigs. There's pigs within 100 yards of me right now. I don't know if you can pick that up. It's real faint. Right this way. I'm gonna get a little farther down here and beach the boat. There's a beaver on the bank right here. So best I can tell, those pigs are out in this tall rush. So I'm gonna just drag the boat up here, beach it, tie it off somewhere in case the tide comes in, and then just start slipping through here and see if I can get on them. The wind's kind of coming this way, and so once I get in there, I'm not gonna be able to see anything because those rushes are as high as my head. So it's gonna be a listening game. Alright, so you can see how tall all these rushes are. There's no trails through this crap. And it is thick, thick, thick. But it looked like there were some good trails coming between these little tree islands out here. And so if I can find one of those trails, it should be open enough. I can just kind of slip down it and hopefully get into something. But I've got to bust through this crap first. Lovely. This is why nobody hunts this stuff. So I heard some pigs in here this morning, but I couldn't catch up with them. It sounded like they were moving away from me, downwind. I tried to circle around, but they were already gone. I'm seeing there's a little bit of hog sign in here, but I'm not really seeing a whole lot. There was really no sign on the trails where I was, no fresh sign anyway. And but this is, if looking at the aerials, this is the area that had the least amount of trails in it. So I'm gonna get back in the kayak. So I had some guys not long after I got out of the boat and walked up in here, had some guys come by in a power boat and got just down below me here and cut the motor and just started drifting. And they could have been fishing, but I doubt it. I think they were just floating the river, listening for hogs, which is a good way to hunt this, because you can hear them. If they're actively feeding, you can hear them out there 100 yards or so. And so you just kind of just let the river take you and just listen. And when you hear them, go ahead and beach the boat, hop out downwind and come back into them. There's some hogs around, saw some tracks, so that's good. So all of this, where the pine straw is disturbed here, this is all old hog rooting where they've been in here. I haven't seen any fresh sign yet. This is one of those pine islands. There was a bunch of trails over on this side and a couple of really good ones on this side. The wind's kind of coming this way, so I'm just checking it out, just seeing what's in here. Trying to be quiet, but you can see how thick it is, so it's impossible to be quiet. But that's not always a problem with pigs, because pigs make a lot of noise themselves, and you can make a lot of make a lot of noise and not scare them away, as long as you don't make the wrong noise. Like one thing that'll scare them away, one thing that is like 100% gonna scare them away, is like if you're walking through the mud and muck and your boot gets stuck and you make a that'll blow them out. They know that is not a natural sound. But crashing around in this stuff, it doesn't seem to bother them too much. I got out into this little tree island here, and there's a live oak hammock in here, which is really nice. I mean, this is cool. Live oaks. Oh, I heard something. There was some vultures roosted in a tree up there. It's an eagle. Anyway, live oaks have something called allelopathy, which means that they have a plant inhibiting chemical that they release, and so oftentimes underneath these live oaks there's really nothing growing, very, very little. and it creates these openings like this. But I mean, there's some hog sign in here, but it's all old, and I can see cups on the trees, but there's not any. I'm not seeing any fresh acorns, and so I think they've just already dropped all of their acorns, and they've already been cleaned up. So the hogs were here, but they're not here now. So, but that's good to know. I mean, it's a good find to know where this hammock is, because this is, I mean, you could come out here and climb up on, sit on one of these branches, and when the hogs are in here, deadly. But you can see how open it is in here. There's another eagle there. They've been rooting. I mean, it's not fresh, but I gotta find what they're feeding on right now. I have no idea what they're feeding on. This is this tree right here is called sparkleberry. See the leaves? It's in the vaccinium family, but that right there, that would make a fine arrow shaft. So I ran a hog out of there. Could never see him, but he ran out. But I've got a big hammock right here. I can see another one right here. I can see, I mean, that's a beautiful oak hammock right there. But walking through this stuff is like taxing. But the river is right here. I think I can walk between the rushes and the watermark. So I'm gonna try to get down. The wind's blowing straight that way, so I'm gonna try to get down the far inside of it and then come back around through there. Hopefully there's a little, yeah, yeah, cool. Man, that's a lot nicer. Holy cow. That stuff will wear you out. So, come down here to this other oak hammock and find a really cool spot, and what do I find but a big old corn pile and a trail camera. That's what those guys were doing that floated by me this morning. So on private land in Florida you can bait, and you can, I mean, there's not really any regulations around hogs anyway, but on public land, which we're on, you can't bait. So I mean, it doesn't bother me, but technically they're outside of the law. But I mean, it's kind of a bummer that they have, I mean, they've kind of laid claim to this spot, this really cool spot. But anyway, I'm gonna just work my way into the wind and try to get away from here. That's pretty cool. Greenbrier got me. Yeah, probably. She's probably 25 yards from me. Strikeout on the hogs, but on the upside, did see some country that I haven't seen before, and found some really nice spots for maybe next year if I get down here a little bit earlier while those oaks are dropping. I think these oak hammocks would be killer, but the hogs are just not in here right now, and that's just characteristics of pigs, when they find a good food source, as long as they're not harassed or pressured, they'll set up shop and just stay there. Like when those acorns are dropping and the pigs are in there, they're in those oak hammocks 24/7, I guarantee it. But they're just not there right now. All the oaks have already dropped. They cleaned up all the acorns, and now they've moved on to somewhere else. I don't know what they're feeding on, like I said earlier, but they're here somewhere. I just got to figure out what they're feeding on and find it. And once I do that, I can get back on them. I've got some other areas that I've got my eye on that are a little farther down the state. Probably try those next week. So, I mean, I'll find them. It might take me a little while. So stay tuned and wish me luck. And if you know where the pigs are, let me know. God, this stuff is nasty. I lost my glasses back there. I went to a big cane thicket with a bunch of greenbriers in there. And if you've never had the pleasure of walking through greenbriers, yeah, you should try that sometime. It's not as bad as chiggers and red bugs, but it's right up there. All the pleasures of hunting in the south. This is called needle rush for a reason. You gotta watch your eyeballs. We'll see y'all next time.